Do you think you can write a very simple hello world program in Python? Maybe it's time for you to think again and join me in this video where I teach you a couple of different methods in which you can write hello world. Let's start with the most simplest one. So we can simply write define simple hello, and this is going to be the most simplest method. Use a simple print statement saying hello world. Till now it's nothing new, right? Let's invoke this method and see the output. So here we have the output of hello world. Let's try defining one more method, and this time let us create a dictionary and let us try to print hello world from our dictionary. So we can say dictionary hello. Let me put some type annotations as well here as well. So this function is going to return nothing, so that's why it's none. Let me put up a comment, and here we can say my words dictionary would be H would be for my hello, and W would be for my word, and then we can say for my word in words dot values I simply want to print out my word, and I want to end with a space, and at last I'm going to print a new line so that it looks good on my terminal. Let's try to invoke this method as well, the dictionary hello method, and here we have the output by using our dictionary. Till now nothing looks really challenging, is it? Now let's try to take our hello world program a little higher notch. This time let us try to print hello world in a binary format. So let's create a method called as binary hello. Again, this is not going to return anything, so none. Let me write a comment. Let's create a variable where we can store our hello world in a binary format. Let me first write the code, and after that I will explain how it really works. So here I want my format. Inside the format I want my ordinary or odd, whatever you may call it, odd for x, format binary for x in hello world. Let me print out my binary hello. Let me run the file. Oops, and we don't have an output. That's because I'm not invoking this method. Let's invoke this method and let us see if we have a binary output or not. So this is how your hello world would look in a binary format. If you're wondering what exactly I did over here, I will explain it to you, but I will explain all of these things at the end of the video. Now let's try to print hello world, but this time in an hexadecimal format. So instead of binary, it's going to be hexadecimal. This is going to be hexadecimal. Let's change this as well from binary to hex, and this also gets changed from binary to hex. Now let's try to print by using the hexadecimal value, and let's try to print it out. So this is how our hello world would look in an hexadecimal format. This time let us try to encrypt our hello world, and then let's try to print it out. So we can say encrypted hello. again, this is not going to return anything. Now, in order for the encryption, I'm going to use the Sha-256 algorithm. So for that, first I need to import my hashlib. Now let's go right over here. Here we can say my hello variable would have the value of hashlib dot SHA-256. The first argument would be a binary string of hello world, and I want to have the hex digest of it, and let us print it out. Let us go down and invoke this method and see how our encrypted hello world would look like. Let me run the file, and here it is. This is how our encrypted hello world would look like. Now the last method that I want to show you, this method is a little bit more interesting. This time, instead of creating a function, I'm going to create a class, and after creating the class, I'm going to make it callable. So let's create a class and let me name it as hello. As usual, we need to have our init file. So this is not going to take any parameters, and I'm going to say self.text would be hello world. Now let's try to make this class callable by defining a method called as call. This is just going to take self, and this is simply going to print our self dot text. Let me add a couple of comments right over here. Now let's try to invoke this class and let's see how it works. So let me say hello by using a class would be, first I need to create an instance of the class of hello, and after that I can simply invoke the class as a regular function, and that's it. Let me see the output, and here as you can see we have our hello world. One more method of invoking our class would be simply like this. We can say I want to create an instance of the class of hello, and after that I simply want to invoke it, and that's it. Let's try to run the code one more time, and we have the output as desired. I hope you are really liking this video till now, and if you're curious of how this method is working of the hexadecimal format or binary format, or how we are able to encrypt, then just stick along and I will explain all of these things to you. First, let us go to this method binary hello, and let us have a look at this statement right over here. Now let me open up my terminal, and there let me explain what's exactly happening. Let me take this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my IPython shell to explain how things are working. Let me clear off all of my things inside the IPython shell. Now let's first have a look at this ORD, and it's taking an argument x. Now this x is coming from right over here, so which is nothing but just an list comprehension. So for example, if I say hello is hello world, and if I say for x in hello, let me print it out. Oops, it has to be x for x in hello, and this is the output. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the Unicode code point of the character. So if I say ORD of A would be 97, That means the character of A is defined by the int value of 97. Let's see what happens for the value of capital A. It has a value of 65. Or what happens for Z? It's 122. So as you can see, each of the alphabet has an underlying integer value. What I'm trying to do right over here is I'm taking this integer value and I am formatting that integer value to a binary format. So now let's see what this format is doing. Let me again clear up my terminal. I can say format with a question mark, and it's saying that it returns the value with its format along with its format spec. For now, let us ignore what all of these things means because it's going to get a little complicated. The only takeaway from this method is it simply formats the value in a given format. In our case, we are taking the underlying integer value of the character, and after that we want to format it in a specific way. In the method of binary, we want to format the integer value into a binary format. So that is what is happening from year to year. And finally, when we have all of the different binary numbers, I'm just simply using a string method called as join to have a one complete binary output. So this big string that you can see is because of join. Let me put a space right over here so it's more clear for you to understand. Let me run the file. So now you can see different characters are denoted by different binary values, and that's about it. In the next method, since I want to have the output in an hexadecimal format, that's why I'm simply changing the binary format to an hexadecimal format. And because of this, we have an hexadecimal string, as you can see right over here. Now let's go to the next method in which we are printing out an encrypted hello. Now this algorithm SHA-256 is a very famous encrypting algorithm, and this SHA-256 function is taking a string which is of the type of readable buffer. That's why the argument for this function is in bytes, which is denoted by this alphabet of B. How did I know that I want to give binary or bytes to this? Simply just click on this, it will take you to the source code. Now this method actually makes no sense, it is just for the typing inference. So I need to click one more time over here. So now you can see it's saying that readable buffer is just a type alias for read only buffer or writable buffer. Let's try to click on this one more time. Now it's trying to make some sense. Read only buffer is a type alias for bytes. That's why I am passing a byte, or you can say a byte array or bytes, to my function of SHA-256. And finally, what this is doing is, or rather what this hex digest method is doing is, it's going to convert the output of our SHA-256 to an human readable string format. And that's what we are finally printing out right over here. So this is our encrypted hello world by using SHA-256. And that's about it.